Oof. Big beautiful bill is now officially law. This is what made Elon go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So he said it's going to add trillions of dollars to the deficit. Tax cuts, tax cuts, um, spending for border patrol. I think the amount of money that's being spent for ICE and border patrol,
It's insane.
legend, legendary. Um, so what's everybody's take on this big beautiful bill situation?
You're a political expert. I think you should start.
Lead us.
Appreciate it. I think that it was is irresponsible governance when you're talking about cutting Medicaid for almost 14 million people
Mm-hmm.
while giving tax breaks, while adding to the deficit by putting unprecedented amounts of money in border control and ICE to build a wall. You're playing to a base, but it's not responsible, especially if you're a fiscal Republican. That's why Elon Musk got mad because he's like, "What's the point of doing Doge? What's the point on running on cutting the deficit? What's the point of running on being a fiscal Republican if we're only going to add to the problem?"
Yep.
And there's really only two ways to cut money, to raise money. It's to raise taxes or cut government spending. Democrats want to raise taxes, Republicans want to cut government spending traditionally, but this actually increased government spending.
Yeah.
So you can't cut taxes and increase government spending. They try to cut government spending on certain things, but long term is going to add to government. It's going to add to government spending, and they raised the debt ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at a certain point where the debt, they don't care about the debt anymore. It just doesn't matter because
Yep.
there's no pathway forward to try to fix the problem. So now I'm just thinking that it's just like one of these things, like just pass it to the next generation and just screw it. Like, we're still afloat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've been screaming this debt to GDP issue forever, and we have to be very honest. Both sides are doing this, Democrats and Republicans. So, since we've been doing the show, the 2020 COVID relief bill, the CARES Act, then the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, then Build Back Better was proposed, and now we're here with the big beautiful bill. Will somebody from a higher power stop some of the spending, or is the plan clear that we're not able to reverse debt to GDP and we're just going to run up the proverbial credit card to no avail? One of the things, like you said, he ran on was less spending and the introduction of Doge, and then we're seeing spending higher than ever and not going to the places where it should go. It's just confusing when some people are now saying that debt to GDP being at 300% or 350% in 15 years won't matter.
Like
It's really confusing.
let's just look at this real quick, right? Like adds $2 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years. That's from the CBO, which is nonpartisan group. No major spending cuts. $700 billion increase to military spending annually, right? Medicare and Social Security relatively untouched long term. No balancing of the budget achieved.
Mm-hmm.
Corporate tax cut now permanent. It's you could just go down the list of like what if your goal is to cut the budget. This does not accomplish any of that
at all.
Yeah. And you think about the people who it affects, right? So you're talking about Medicare, you're talking about food assistance, you're talking about higher education has now changed in terms of repayment plans. You're talking about Planned Parenthood. Like these things are going to affect communities that we're familiar with. So here's the other question, right? Then it made me like fine comb this whole thing and figure out, is there anything that's beneficial inside this bill? And I found one.
Okay.
I found one.
A needle in a haystack.
I found it.
Got you.
from an investment standpoint,
Mhm.
when we talk about AI and we talk about semis, there are benefits for those semiconductor companies who are building in the United States.
Mm.
Such companies come to mind as Taiwan Semiconductor,
For
who will
sure.
benefit from this. And the company, Ian, maybe we'll talk about, and Shadi will talk about Micron as well.
Mhm.
When we're talking about high bandwidth memory, there are 3 top players in this sector. 2 of them are from South Korea. One is from the United States of America, being Micron. Told you about it numerous times. The increase on percentage of, I think incentives that they got went from 25% to 35%.
Mhm.
That changes the lines. Intel is part of that as well. I didn't want to say Ian because I know how you feel about them, but
It's fine. I don't
they-
have any feelings. Just the quantitative data is what
so
it is.
from an investment standpoint,
Mhm.
inside of those companies, and I know a lot of our audience are invested in some of those companies, there is some benefit there. But everything else, tough.
And the one positive thing I will say about Intel is that even though it's not a favorable stock, we can't afford to have a death of an American iconic brand while debt to GDP is rising and other countries are encroaching on our territory in terms of tech. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. You know what else is beneficial? Red Panda
Yeah.
Stock Club.
There you go.
If you want to get rich from the market, want to know where to get in, where to get out, go to ianinvest.com. Amazing stock club call we had this past week. But if you want to know the companies that are going to thrive, do well, despite of the big, beautiful bill or Elon and Trump's fight, go to ianinvest.com and join the stock club. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. I love y'all. Stock club call this Wednesday.
Amen.
There you have it.
Amen.